Some of us are outwardly successful, but inwardly feel unhappy and living a life lacking in purpose and meaning. The Necktie and the Jaguar by Carl Greer can help you discover what's important to you and how to go for it. For more information or to purchase the book, visit carlgreer.com. That's CARLGREER.com. Welcome to Voice Rising with Kara Johnstad. Enjoy weekly conversations with leading luminaries, pioneering visionaries, singers, poets, musicians, and sound healers as we explore the profound role our voice plays on the path to self-realization and global enlightenment. The internationally acclaimed singer, composer, author, healer, recording artist, voice expert, creator of Voice Your Essence, and founder of the School of Voice, Kara Johnstad uses her extraordinary spiritual gifts to empower others. Everything in this world vibrates. Everything has a frequency. A pioneer in the field of voice work and transformational songwriting. Her breakthrough methods are helping thousands of people worldwide fine-tune their body-mind-spirit system and unlock the energetic frequencies of limitless creativity, health, and abundance. Share your voice, ask your questions, join in the conversation. Receive life-changing, positive transformation and rise together to create a sound world. And here's your host, Kara Johnstad.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Voice Rising. Today is a special show. I have in the studio with me the singer, composer, producer, and arranger, Giorgia Fumanti. Giorgia's first international release, From My Heart with EMI, reached the Billboard's top 20 crossover chart and peaked to number 1 in Japan and South Africa. Her album Elysium also charted in the top 5 on the Billboard's classical crossover chart. And she did the album Amour, which peaked also to number 1 in the sales charts in Canada. And she's now out with a new album. It's called Mystic, and she's here with us today to talk about the transformational power of voice and mindfulness, the beauty of a great melody, all the good things we want to know. Welcome, Giorgia, to Voice Rising.
Thank you so much, Kara.
Giorgia, you come from one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It's the wonderful land of Italy, the land that has so many wonderful also composers like Verdi and Puccini. In the beginning, you grew up in a very little village, but anybody who knows anything about Italy, or at least I've spent much time there, we know that the people love singing. So let's go back to your childhood. You grew up in this little village, but were you always singing?
I was a very shy girl, so I was singing, but just for my grandmother before going to bed. She was singing for me to make me sleep and feeling better, and I was doing the same. But my first meeting with music was really through my grandmother when I was born, and I had some healing health problem. And her way to comfort me and make me sleep was through singing. So definitely the music, the voice was an instrument to calm me and to make me feel better.
And in which way do those memories of your grandmother singing those lullabies inspire you as a singer today?
I grew up, as I said, I was a very, very shy girl, very connected with the invisible world and not too much grounded on earth, and feeling very vulnerable and very sensitive. What was not always easy, because it was like I was not strong enough to survive. But I discovered music only when I was 17. Because I was near the volunteers, and I heard that the choir of the town needed younger people. So I went in the choir, not because I thought I had a great voice, but more for the service. And that night, the little voice of my childhood came out with a natural soprano voice.
And reflecting off the walls of a beautiful church, I'm sure.
Yes, it was very easy to sing in that acoustic, that's for sure. But was a path that I didn't really choose with my mind, because my parents, I come from a very simple family where to be an artist was almost impossible, because they always worked very hard, and they had a business, and to become and to believe that I could live with the music was really, really, really hard and impossible dream. So I was a long path before I became a professional singer.
I mean, anybody who's ever tried to stand in front of people and sing knows how nervous it can be. And knowing that you were so shy, how did you overcome the shyness? Was it the music that gave you the strength, or did you learn with time that the beauty of your voice protected you and comforted you, just like your grandmother's voice?
It was a very strange and mystical feeling, because in my normal life I was extremely shy, but as soon as was the time for me to sing, something else was taking place, and a trust and a special connection with this voice and this energy that I feel when I sing was stronger than everything. And of course, closing my eyes and just feeling the pleasure and the desire to share what I was feeling with the other was stronger than my personality. So, of course, in the very beginning, when I started at 17 or 18, was a little sound, but through years and through confidence and trust, finally I found the courage to follow this dream and to make it my reality.
The inner voice guided you, I guess. Georgia, I would like to play a piece for our listening audience. It is a song by Michel Legrand with the lyrics from Alan and Marilyn Bergman. It was in the film Yentl. And I actually had the great pleasure to meet Mr. Legrand in Paris, because I did a project that was focused all around his music. And I just think that, his melodic lines, they're so beautifully done for singers. But also the Bergmans, they write the most poetic text, right? So whatever we know from You Must Believe in Spring and What Are You Doing the Rest of Your Life? And you have released on this new album a rendition of Papa, Can You Hear Me? Would you like to share a little bit more about the song before we listen?
Yes, of course, it's an amazing song done by one of the most amazing singers, Barbara Streisand. But in this particular case, I sang it because I started to record this album last year, and a few months after I started to record it, my father in Italy passed away. And it was, of course, very difficult for me. And I decided to dedicate especially all the album, but especially 3 songs to him, and this is one of the songs that is especially dedicated to my father.
Beautiful. Let's listen to Papa, Can You Hear Me from Michel Legrand and the Bergmans, sung by Giorgia Fumanti.
God, our Heavenly Father, oh God, and my Father, who is also in heaven, may the light of this flickering candle illuminate the night the way your spirit illuminates my soul. Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me? Papa, can you find me in the night? Papa, are you near me? Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you help me not be frightened? Looking at the skies, I seem to see a million eyes. Which one are yours? Where are you now that yesterday has waved goodbye and closed its doors? The night is so much darker, the wind is so much colder. The world I see is so much bigger now that I'm alone. Papa, please forgive me, try to understand me. Papa, don't you know I have no choice? Can you hear me praying anything I'm saying? Even though the night is filled with voices, I remember everything you taught me, every book I ever wrote. Can all the words in all the books help me to face what lies ahead? The trees are so much taller, and I feel so much smaller. The moon is twice as lonely, and the stars are half as bright. Papa, how I love you. Papa, how I need you. Papa, how I miss you. Kissing me. Good
night. You were listening to Papa, Can You Hear Me from Giorgia Fumanti's newest album, which is called Mystic. Georgia, mystic is a person who seeks by contemplation and devotion insight into those great mysteries, some of those mysteries that you were talking about before we were listening to that track. Like, where do we go after we die? What is the purpose to life? You know, you were saying before we went on air also that you are a mother of 4 children. So this is the mystery, right? 100 years ago, we were not here, and in 100 years, we probably won't be here. So what is the mystery called life? I can imagine that this album, after you shared the 3 of the songs are for your daddy, is very close to your heart. So can you talk a little bit more about the process of creating this new album? I believe you created it in the middle of a pandemic, and why you chose the title Mystic.
Yes, we started this album last year in the middle of the pandemic, where we were stopped by doing concert and traveling, and for the first time almost in my career, I was really stopped, and I was in the house, in the home, like everybody, and the power of music once again was a healing for me, for my producer, Steve Galante, And we were wishing to do the best album ever to inspire the people, the audience, that I was missing them so much. And we didn't even know when and how we will start again. And so many great musicians left this profession because it was so hard. And so we were just doing the best songs we could to inspire ourselves and the audience. And I studied the album, and then a huge personal experience arrived in my life. The first child arrived. I have two biological girls, 12 and 7 years old, and then I have two children, one girl that she's 4, and a little boy that he is 13 months now, and the last two are two adoptions. So during the middle of the recording of the album, last year we received the call of this little boy that needed a family, and of course my heart was in heaven, because a new life in front of you that needs a family, it's something that really moved a lot of emotions. And 15 days later, my father passed away in Italy. So I was, in front of me, I had a new life, and my father was ending his life here on earth. So, of course, all these experiences affected me deeply and gave me even more the desire to keep doing a music that can inspire myself and millions of hearts, because I really realized that in the end, when we leave from this trip on earth, what really matters is how much love we left. I'm blessed with these 4 kids. I'm really busy, but I receive so much love from them, and I think I give them so much love, and I pray that my music can be an inspiration for so many people. So my intention are always to give something good through my sound, through my music, and this experience really gave me even more the determination to do as much good as I can.
Beautiful. Georgia, we're going to take a very, very short break, and then we're going to be back and talk more about your newest title, newest album, Mystic.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at OMTimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
With happy clients all over the world, Kara Johnstad knows that your voice is the missing link to more authenticity, abundance, creativity, and health. An internationally acclaimed voice expert, Kara's breakthrough methods have helped thousands of people successfully heal their voice wounds and extinguish the story of self-doubt and shyness forever. Join in group trainings, attend online sessions, schedule one-on-one time, and invite Kara to work with your organization and community. Get started today. Go to www.karajohnstad.com and receive a special guided meditation designed to fine-tune your inner voice and welcome you on the voice journey.
This is Kathy Beal, host of Celestial Compass, featuring astrology you can use. Celestial Compass points you to what's going on in the sky and what you can do with it down here on Earth. We also explore fun, effective, and cosmic tools for navigating this adventure we call life. Join me the first and third Monday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for Celestial Compass. It's enlightening, entertaining, and empowering.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
If you're feeling increasingly lonely right now, you're not alone. It's totally normal. Even though we may not be able to get together in person, connecting virtually with friends and family still gives you a chance to interact with people and may help raise your spirits. Join a virtual book club, set up group text chats, or online video coffee breaks with coworkers.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Welcome back to Voice Rising. I am your host, Kara Johnstad, and with me in studio today is the singer, composer, producer, and arranger, Giorgia Fumanti. Giorgia, let's talk a little bit about artistic freedom. You are a crossover artist. You're blending not only pop and classical genres, you also hear in this new album that you're singing songs or melodies that we know as orchestral pieces. How important is artistic freedom to you?
It's essential. It's very, very important because I grew up in a family where it was not super easy to be myself because of sometimes society and fears and what you're supposed to be successful. And so I tried to be what the other people wanted from me until I realized that I was so far away from my nature that I was extremely unhappy. And I decided to start to raise my head and try to find my inner voice through a journey that was not always easy, but was essential for my own well-being. And so right now is really, really a necessity for me to be free, to be who I am. And I love the collaboration with others, but it's essential, the respect of my nature. And that's why I take this freedom to sing everything that touches my heart. And in the respect of the music and everything, but I needed to express it how I feel and how it makes me feel happy in the hope that makes other people feel the same.
Yeah, and I think that when we are able to do this as singers, this is what gives us our very big voice. People often ask me also, like, how do you get a big voice? And one of it is, of course, the physical and the connection with the emotions. But the truth is, for the singers that are not allowed due to production reasons to sing like they want or need to sing, they feel constrained. And you hear this in the voice. So I'm sure that artistic freedom is not having to compromise with what we sing and how we want to sing it. It plays a big factor and a very big role in becoming that channel, that conduit for the divine that you are. I mean, many people have said this, that they feel that you have the voice of an angel, right?
Thank you so much. It's always touching me, but it's definitely my biggest wish and desire in my prayers and in my meditation. There is always this desire to be a channel, to give some inspiration to everybody that need it. And music that has done this for me in many occasions, from the happiest moment in my life to the saddest moment in my life. Music always comforted me, and so it's definitely a very clear desire and affirmation of every day meditation and prayer to inspire millions of hearts. And I believe
beautiful.
that it's just to respect who we really are in all kind of different profession, or just respect our nature instead of being all the same, instead of being like somebody said that is beautiful or that is successful. Just be yourself, I think, is the best gift that we can give to ourselves and to our world, instead of being like somebody else decide or wants us to be. So
I think you're right about that, because if each of us is authentically ourselves, that we inspire other people to be themselves, and then amazingly enough, it's a beautiful mosaic, and it's a beautiful, as I like to say, masterpiece, masters of peace, right? We all have peaceful hearts, and if we come back to our true nature, then we're able to shine. Georgia, one of the most innovative tangueros was an Argentina composer from Argentina and a bandoneon player. Most people know him, Astor Piazzolla. And he really revolutionized the tango because he started to bring in jazz elements and mix it with the classical music and created this new style, which was called Nuovo Tango. And one of his greatest hits was Libertango, and he composed it in 1974. And what I didn't realize is that just a year before that, he had suffered a heart attack. And then after that, he moved to Italy, and he actually, I believe, created this piece in Italy, in Milano. And it was really one of his breakthroughs. And because he was breaking free, and it was a symbol of his break from the classical tango, he called it libertango, and you decided to put it on the album. What drew you to perform this? Because you're singing it almost like a vocalist. No, there's no words. Yeah.
Yes, and we were in pandemic, so we couldn't have any choir, so we used my voice in all different kind of harmonies, and my producer, Steve Galante, did an amazing job because this is a masterpiece, and every time we touch a masterpiece, there is such a risk to destroy something, but I believe that we love it so much, we honor so much in our way this amazing composer, and we try to do our version of Libertango, and we had so much pleasure and made us feeling so much happy when we were doing this song in studio.
Yeah, beautiful. Let's listen to Libertango from Astor Piazzolla.
Ooh.
That is the amazing Libertango from Piazzolla, and I'm in studio with Giorgia Fumanti, and this track can be heard on her new album, Mystic. It is a lot of joy when we listen to that music, isn't it? I feel so much happiness when I hear it.
I felt it when I was recording, and all this this game I was doing with all these different voices, doing all these sounds was just fun way to explore a different way to sing.
Yeah, and I was thinking, like you were saying, we still are. I mean, Europe is going into another lockdown now as we speak here on the show, and this balancing between, not being able to be performing live, but yet being able to be in studio and playing in different ways with the voice, because, I'm sure you could have outsourced all these different musicians online and have them sending in their tracks, but it's much more fun, the arrangement you did to just sing all those parts. I mean, it's a beautiful way to explore.
And through this time, you just go back to the essential to understand what is really the essential that you love. And so instead of planes and beautiful venues and big dresses, you're just like in your pajama recording in a studio just because you love to sing. And you don't even know what will be the future, but it doesn't matter. You just enjoy the moment, and you put it in a recording, something that is stay there forever, in the hope that other people can enjoy that moment, because music really has this power to make us feel better, to make us feel a different kind of emotion when we need it, and so you realize that after so many years you still do this profession because you feel it in your heart. And that is the most important gift of this pandemic, I think.
And music, it transcends. I mean, that's what I think is really amazing. If you look at the album, we're looking at composers that were, that have passed. They're now in heaven. I mean, if we're talking about the mysteries. And then people like Legrand, who actually just recently passed. It's not that long ago. It's, I think, a couple of years ago. But you also have other composers. And we see that music is this link between, connecting our ancestors, and we carry it with us, and then we bring it into the future. And all of these recordings, they never leave us. And that's what always fascinates me, is that we continue to listen to Bach and to Callas and to all the great artists, and we continue to read the great poets, because the power of the voice is that it weaves together this beautiful tapestry. And it's fascinating. I love this image of you recording in your pajamas. Because one of the questions I was going to ask you is, as a mother of 4 children, and you said that the newest little boy came during the recordings, how do you balance work life and family life and the amazingness of being the mom of 4 children, young children, with your work? And also you're performing. It's quite a challenge.
Yes, it is. And during all this time, sometimes it was not possible to have babysitter because of lockdown. So we really lived our kids, me and my husband, and my mother. She lives in Italy, so I don't have close family. So I really fully live my children, and I love that too, because I really wanted them, and I wanted to be able to be with them, not to leave them to somebody else. But definitely was a big dream for me to to have a big family, and I was blessed with 2 biological children, and adoption was something that was always a desire in my heart, despite it's unfortunately very challenging and difficult sometimes. But if you really want something and you're very determined and you believe it and you work, things happen. So finally, through many pains too, because I lost some pregnancies, and so life in the end gave me these 4 amazing souls, and I'm very busy with them, and meditation helped me a lot to keep my energy and to keep my sanity too, because 4 little kids, it's a lot, and especially the last one was through a foster family, so with all the difficult reality of the biological family that has a lot of pain, and my other child lived 2 years in an orphanage. So, there are experiences that they are full of challenges too for these kids. But through the meditation and chanting helped me a lot to stay more than I can balance. And then when I sing, it's just to be in holiday for me. So when I go in studio and I have my pajama, I'm just free to sing. And then when I go on, but when I go on stage, I have the princess dresses, because all this
of course,
part of me, the pajama and the princess dresses.
And I was thinking that people don't realize maybe that in the lockdown, it's not as, even though we can't do our big concerts, but like you said, it's like a holiday when we are doing what we love and we're in the studio and we're able to surrender to these amazing melodies and harmonies and the lyrics, and we feel like we're flying. We don't need to go through security and baggage claim and everything. We're really flying. We are flying. Beautiful. Georgia, we're gonna take a little short break, and then we're gonna be back with more and really explore more about the voice.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
The United States has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. At the Equal Justice Initiative, we believe mass incarceration has to end. There is this presumption of dangerousness and guilt that gets assigned to Black and brown people. We have to confront our history of racial injustice and commit to a new era of truth. There's something better waiting for us, something that feels more like freedom. Truth can inspire change. Please learn more at eji.org.
Welcome back to Voice Rising. I'm your host, Kara Johnstad, and with me in studio is Giorgia Fumanti. Giorgia, your albums have reached the top of the charts for music, and it's top of the charts for music that are not only in the crossover category, but they're music that provides well-being. And so many admirers, they testify to the therapeutic effect of your music. They use it for healing, and I guess you were talking before the break about your own mindfulness practice, your own practice of connecting to prayer. What kind of influence do you think music has on the body, mind, spirit system?
Oh, definitely, like you said so well, the vibration, the power of the vibration are so healing, and definitely the words we speak and the energy we have and the intention we put in everything we do has a huge impact in every activity in our life, in our well-being. So definitely I am using all this for myself, for my children, and for my music. And I'm in this path for the last 20 years, from when I decided to listen to myself and find my inner voice and try to have the courage to follow that voice, despite was very risky, despite was very challenging, because I left my family, I left Italy, I left everything that I knew to start in this journey that was so unknown, but just because I needed to follow this inner voice and this dream that 20 years later still makes me feel so happy and complete when I'm doing it. The power of music is a magical healing tool that I feel very, very grateful to be able to still use it and doing it for myself and others.
Yeah, you live very far from your homelands. I can understand that because I'm an American living in Europe and you're a European living in Canada. And it's not always easy because we are not communicating in our mother tongue all the time. And like you were saying, during this pandemic, your mother was very far away. So a lot of people were struggling, but especially people that are not, close to their cousins and aunts and uncles. And where it could be very lonely at times.
Yes.
Do you have... Share.
Yeah, I built now my family, but in the beginning it was very difficult to be in a different country alone and starting everything from zero. But, it was the price to pay.
Yeah, it was a price to pay because your inner voice guided you, and you obviously have found a beautiful team of people that I think for me as a singer, and I know many other performers and singers, this is the magic, that the one thing is to have the music and the voice, but you need a team of people that you can trust and that allow that authenticity and that beauty to shine. And that is an exploration. It's an adventure. It's not always easy. The contracts and this, can be pretty tough, right?
Yes.
So
but finally, I have a beautiful team starting from my husband, that is my manager, and my producer, that is like me, an Italian that moved to Canada, and Stefano Galante. We did the last 6 album together, and it's
beautiful.
An amazing collaboration. I totally trust him, and it's beautiful to find this kind of connections.
Exactly. I want to share with the listening audience another piece where you're actually singing the orchestral melodic lines that we know. It is Bolero, Ravel's Bolero. What brought you to this piece? Which I actually, amazingly enough, sang with a orchestra once with bandoneon. So it's not often sung, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece to sing.
Yes,
what led you to sing Ravel's Bolero?
Once again, we were searching the most beautiful, inspiring melodies during the pandemic to inspire ourselves and our audience, and we were so brave to touch this other amazing masterpiece and doing it with all kind of voice and vocalized and once again try to fly higher than we can through the music, with the music.
Beautiful. Yeah. Let's listen to Ravel's Bolero by Giorgia Fumanti. Ravel's Bolero with Giorgia Fumanti here in the studio with us today. I love that. I think you did very well with your team to choose such powerful melodies. I mean, the whole album is really a gem, a jewel. I think that in these, what people perceive to be dark times, I personally, and I'm not sure how you feel, but I feel like we're at a turning point, that there is light coming, that people are becoming conscious of what is important to them, whether it's spending more time with the family, whether it's moving more to the land and eating healthy food, coming back to the simplicity. I that's what I sense.
Yeah,
is it
definitely.
The same for you? Yeah.
Yes, we were also so bombarded by fears and mental bombarding. Really, all kind of. So your radio, your program, definitely, it's wonderful to be able to inspire people with positivity and light, and we have to nourish ourselves with this.
Exactly.
So we really need to find a way to make it like a bubble very strong around us, and not be able to be constantly affected by everything that is happening outside, because otherwise we give all our power away. So definitely we need time to stay in our heart and listen to our heart and not to all the fears that come from outside.
Yeah, I think that people are not aware that the voice, just like it's powerful, we hear in your music how powerful your voice is, but we forget that all of these voices that are spreading the fear, they also have power because their intent is to make us nervous in a way. I mean, if we're watching the news every day and all you see is, let's say a pandemic, they're not showing the voice of the child who's singing the lullaby with the mother. They're not showing the voice of the caring teacher who's working many, many hours doing homeschooling in this time, right? So we have to be very aware that the voice is such a powerful instrument that it can heal us. And it can also, it's like fire. If you play with matches, you can get burned, but you can also create a beautiful meal, right? So if we are not aware of these voices, and I personally think that the greatest thing is if all of us start connecting to our own authentic voice and start strengthening that, because when we start singing our lullabies and our melodies, it allows that bubble to get much stronger, right? I mean, so and.
But what I learned through all my concerts in many different countries in the world, where I couldn't speak with the audience because I was in Japan or China and my Chinese was not really the best. But what I learned was that every human responds to kindness and gentleness and love in the end. And I think it's such a powerful message that we will just need more kindness and more gentleness and more love. I think, like I see, even for my children, it's a universal, really, language that everybody understands, no matter how your heart is covered by pain and hunger. I think I still believe that in the very, very core there is the light. So it's up to us to remove all the layers of pain and discover this light inside of us.
Yeah. Is that your wish for the world? If we could, the power of intent, because you were talking about meditation and prayers and how chanting has helped you. So if you could make a wish, and we now have the end, this interview, in case anybody's listening in the future, we are in November of 2021, we're moving into, the magical 2022. It sounds so beautiful, all these twos that are coming. If you could make a wish for where you'd like to see the world in 6 months, and if we all know the power of intent and we could gather our mental focus and connect it with the love in our hearts, what would you love to see for our world?
I would love to see that everybody from children to middle age to more older people start to really appreciate themselves and love themselves and trust themselves. And I think by doing this, so many anger and pain could be less strong, because I think everything starts really from our own heart. And I wish that everybody could find this well inside of us.
Yeah,
Yes.
this well, or this wellspring.
Yes, where it's a normal, where it's normal to be happy, where it's normal to be in peace, where it's normal to be serene. And I don't want to say that you need to ignore other kind of emotion. They are there. It's okay. But it's like when you surf or when you swim in the ocean, some days it's peaceful, some days it's a little bit more rough, some days it's very agitated, and you surf through all this by keeping and always remember that our deepest nature is love. Everybody comes from love, and just I think it's where I hope everybody will go.
Returns. Yeah. Thank you, Giorgia Fumanti, so much for being with us today at Voice Rising. We wish you all the best. May you be showered with lots of blessings, and may your family also stay safe and well always.
You too.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This program was such an inspiration. Thank you for everything you do for all of us, for everybody that is listening, and thank you to your amazing audience that is attracted to this beautiful light that you shine.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.